I'm going to read this article out of New York Times. It's not a Christian article at all. It's a woman who has had an affair, and her husband had had an affair at different times in their lives. And it is the most honest view of adultery I've ever seen. It's called A Room Full of Yearning and Regret. She said, start by picturing yourself in the therapist's office with your husband after you've been found out, and you will be found out. You will hear yourself saying that you cheated because your needs weren't being met. The spark was gone. You were bored in your marriage. Your lover understands you better. One or another version of this will cross your lips. I'm not saying these feelings aren't legitimate, she said, just that they don't legitimize what you're doing. Because if you believe they did, your stomach wouldn't drop on your way to the door of your lover's house. You wouldn't feel the need to shower before climbing back into the marital bed after a liaison. You wouldn't feel like a train had struck you in the back when your son asked why you forgot his lacrosse game the other day. You see, when you miss a family function because of work, you get over it. When you miss a family function because you were in a hotel room with your lover, you feel breathless with misery. What you don't know, or perhaps what you won't allow yourself to think about, is that your life will become an unbearable mix of yearning and regret because of it. This is no way for an adult to live. When you're with your lover, you'll be working on your alibi and feeling loathsome. When you're with your spouse, you'll be dying to return to your love nest. When you are at home, everything in your life will look a little out of register. The furniture, the food in the fridge, your children, your dog, because you've detached yourself from your normal point of reference, and it now belongs to a reality that you've abandoned. You will be pulled between two poles, one of obligation and responsibility, and the other of pleasure and escape. And the stress of these two opposing forces will threaten to split you in two. Once the affair is out in the open, and it will be out in the open, you will strive mightily to justify yourself. You will begin with sentences like, I never meant to. But one look at the hollow-eyed, defeated form of your spouse will remind you that such a claim is beyond the point. You can get over this, yes, but the innocence will have gone out of your union, and it will seem as if a bone has been broken and healed, but one that rain or cold weather could set throbbing again. So now take the other side. You discover your cheating spouse, as I once did, and what you experience is not far removed from post-traumatic stress. It's a form of shock as your mind struggles to accommodate this wrenching reality. You won't be able to sleep or focus. Your fight or flight mechanism will go haywire. You will become consumed with where your spouse is at any moment, even if you see him right in front of you. You will torture yourself with details. You will fit together the mysteries of his daily patterns like a wicked puzzle. Every absence or unexplained late night or new habit or sudden urge to join the gym, for instance, will suddenly make horrible sense. You will wonder why you were so stupid. You will come to long for simple, honest pleasures like making dinner with your sons or going out to the movies without having to look over your shoulder. At some point, the whole episode will leave you disgusted and bored and desirous to get out. You'll just want to be with someone who does what he says he's going to, goes where he says he's going to go, and can be found anytime you need him because he's not hiding. I say all this by the way of hope, believe it or not. Affairs are one of the adult world's few disasters that can be gotten over with a lot of time and a lot of kindness. It has to burn out of you over months and months, flaming up and then subsiding as you get used to the fact. But I look at my parents, at how much simpler their lives are at the ages of 75, mostly because they haven't marred the landscape with this grand scale deceit. They have this marriage of 50-some years behind them, and it is a monument to success. A few weeks or months of illicit passion could not hold a candle to it. If you imagine yourself in such a situation, where would you fit an affair neatly? If you were 75, which would you rather have? Years of steady, if occasionally strained devotion, or something that looks a little bit like the Iraqi city of Fallujah, cratered with spent artillery? From where I stand, it all just looks like a cheap hotel room, whether you're in that room to have an affair or to escape the discovery of one. And despite the sex and the excitement, there is no view from this room that is worth having.